Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you for everyone for coming to the Saturday Satsanga program. Thank you for doing Kirtan. Shilpi and what's her name? Srini. Akshayini. Yes, now I'll remember. So, welcome. Please take a seat. So, we are having the second session in the series of Bhagavad Gita out of 18 session. And today is Secrets of Bhagavad Gita from Chapter-1. So, Ram Vilas Prabhu will share those. He has completed his PhD from here and he's also working now. And now, along with doctorate in philosophy in so many different subjects, he's also studying the highest philosophy of Bhagavad Gita. So, he will share some insights from a PowerPoint. So while he's setting up, I would like a quick introduction. I think you're coming for the first time?
No, I've been here before.
Okay, so I'll give a mic for everybody to introduce themselves. Oh, yes. So maybe I'll start with you. Are you coming for first time?
Yeah. Hare Krishna, my name is Bhavani. I've come here 4 years back. I'm basically from Bay Area. But this time, after a break of 3-4 years, I'm coming here again.
Hi, I'm Arina Khosla. I come here from so many years, back and forth, but not regular always.
So,
Hare Krishna, my name is Jay. I live closer to LA and I'm here with my father-in-law.
My name is Anand. I've been coming here for a while now.
Yes, my name is Natrulal Chauhan. I've been here for the last 37 years. Try to make it every week.
Yeah. So we'll begin with prayers. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari
यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जना यमुनतीरावनचारी So these are Mangala Charan prayers. I will chant. You can see the meaning and the verse that I am chanting. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapadakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunadhanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Krupa Sindubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabho Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Everyone can chant with me. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishno rakshatu no jagatraya guruhu Krishnannamadhvam sada Krishnena marasetravo vinihataha Krishnaya tasmai namaha Krishnaeva samudhitam jagatidam Krishnasya dasosmyaham Krishne tishtadetadakhilam He Krishna samrakshamam. So this last verse is from Mukundamala Stotra. First of all, thanks for giving me this opportunity to share a few words about Gita Rahasyam, the secret wisdom of Bhagavad Gita, the secrets of Gita. So this series is started by Gauranga Prabhu last week, and he gave a nice introduction as to why this is Rahasya, why this is secret. So I will continue from the introduction and we'll go into chapter 1 and what Gita is saying about that. Like many of the devotees who have been reading Gita for a while, when they are rereading Bhagavad Gita or sections of Gita, they immediately open second chapter and go from there because Krishna starts speaking in second chapter. But there are many nice intricate secrets, like little bit like what is the setting, why Krishna is speaking like this, what is the wisdom he is giving. So why these descriptions of armies that are given by Vyasadeva. So we'll go into that and we can appreciate the state in which Arjuna is, and then from next chapter like you will see more into how Krishna is addressing those issues and so on. So I will tell about this pastime in just 5 minutes. I will come back to this slide. Just remember that Krishna is just resting on his bed and there is Arjuna and Duryodhana. So before beginning to this, going into the first chapter, so every of the scriptural book that A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada wrote, before going into that, Prabhupada gave nice sections called introductions. Like there is an introduction to Bhagavad Gita, there is introduction to Srimad Bhagavatam, Introduction to Chaitanya Charitamrita. So those are extremely important that we have to go through, because Srila Prabhupada is not just a founder of a religious organization that we glorify again and again. He is a Tridandi sannyasi who is practicing what he is preaching and what he has been hearing from his spiritual master, from the disciplic succession, for years. And the last 10 years that we are seeing right now, the outcome of it, is a resultant of the beginning, like 60 years that Prabhupada has spent, like in the initial days, like also in Vrindavan and so on. So, many of the Srila Prabhupada knows very well that we are in Kali Yuga, and we are all having different backgrounds, and we all have some introduction, like to the philosophy in general, and then we came onto this path by some means. So we all will have some, what is that ideology about what actual life is, what is spirituality is, who God is, and so on and so forth. And then we try to approach this knowledge. So Prabhupada addresses what all common misconceptions are there, what all we are lacking, and what we need to have that basis to delve into this. One of the main aspects that Prabhupada discusses in the introduction is about knowledge. So there are like every living being who has a soul, which has a soul in it, has this tendency to inquire for knowledge. So that's what Vedanta Sutra says. Adhadho Brahma Jignasaha, it begins. So Adhadho Brahma Jignasaha means hence inquire the absolute truth. So you might have been reading many books like novels or anything. You never come across a book which starts with hence or therefore. But why this Vedanta Sutra is saying hence or therefore is because we have been assuming so many bodies, so many dharmas we have been performing, so many ideologies that we are subscribed to, like nationality, this, that, okay, if I'm in a kingdom, in a king, like I have to serve him well. So all these dharmas that we are assuming, and we are going round and round. We thought, okay, this is how I'll be happy. Then I'll go to that path. Then I'll get frustrated. No, this is not what it is. And then like you go another path in another lifetime. So based on your deeds, your needs, your desires, you are taking so many lifetimes in pursuit of this knowledge, And then you, by some means, by some sukruti or by unconditional mercy of some pure devotee, that you came across this path which is absolute knowledge. And that's what Brahma Sutra is saying, okay, now start inquiring absolute knowledge. You have been wandering for so long. Okay, now sit and ask. As I said in like some previous satsangas, Sankaracharya writes, Kate kaye kanta kaste putraha samsaraiva mativa vichitraha. Like the associates of me, like my wife and kids or my husband or so on, who are they? Samsaraiva mativa vichitraha. This whole samsara, people are thinking, okay, like I was in one of the satsangs I spoke about Bhaktivedanta Thakur's Bhuliya Tomare song also. Like when I was born, then I'm grown up as a boyhood, playing with other boys, and then I go into youth for education, and then earning money, and then getting kids. So like that, at every stage of life we are running after something, but what is the actual dharma that we have to follow? So if you see, everyone is in pursuit of this journey. So he says samsaraiva mativa vichitra. It's so wonderful, like mysterious, this samsara. And kasyatvam va kuta ayataha tattvam chintaya tadiya bharataha, he says. Kasyatvam va kaha kuta ayataha means to whom you belong to, from where you came from. These questions, tattvam chintaya tadiya bharataha, please inquire about these questions. That's what Sankaracharya says. So one thing is, okay, that is correct. Like when we took human form of life, yes, we need to ask and inquire about that absolute truth. So how do I get this knowledge? Like there are so many means of obtaining knowledge. So Srila Prabhupada mentions these means also. So there are predominantly all the types of means of obtaining knowledge are classified into 3 types of knowledges. So one amongst that is Pratyaksha Praman, that is knowledge obtaining through your sense perception. So this body is equipped with 5 senses, 5 knowledge acquiring senses, which are called Gnanendriya. So these are, through these 5 senses you obtain knowledge in this material world, whatever you are going through everyday life. So 5 of these are like Sabda, Sparsa, Rasa, Rupa, Gandha. So that is, Sabda means sound, like by hearing. Sparsa means touch, by perception, and Rasa is taste. Rupa is sight, and Gandha means smell. So these are the 5 Gnanendriyas, knowledge acquiring senses. And if you see, many of the technologists, like in scientists itself, technologists are trying to obtain this knowledge through this. Like, say, we are trying to find about the secrets of this universe, or like where we are coming from. These kind of questions we are trying to inquire, right? So we have limitation. Like, for example, we cannot see more than certain threshold. Like, say, we can only see this desk, but we cannot see microorganisms on it. So we come up with this device called as microscope, which extends our senses basically. So we can see things which cannot be seen by naked eye. And then we want to observe like the cosmos, like in far away, like planets and celestial objects. Then we invent telescope. So all this technology that we are trying to do is expanding our senses and trying to obtain from that. So if you hear like Bhadrinarayan Swami Maharaj like repeatedly give so many like PowerPoint presentations in Krishna Lounge or some other programs where Maharaj shows some what is it called, like illusions, like it appears like one figure, but if Maharaj directs, okay, look like this direction, then it appears something else. Like the famous thing that comes to my mind is like a rabbit and duck. Yeah. So you see one angle it appears like a rabbit, and you see other angle it appears like a duck. So the main means like with which we are obtaining knowledge and we are trusting that is failing us in very small examples like this. What about the questions of the secrets of cosmos? Where are we? Who are we? All these things, right? So one of the things is that is fallible in terms of direct sense perception, that is Pratyaksha Praman. There is second one which many of the scientists do it very often, that is Anuman Praman. Anuman Praman is by guesswork. So one of the fancy word to support that is hypothesis based. Like suppose you take a hypothesis, you think okay, let this is the actual solution that we are thinking of obtaining, then they try to go in the direction and they realize that okay, this is not it, and so on. So this is also dangerous because I have a very practical example I heard recently. Like when there was a plague outburst in Europe, so many people were pouring into, there are so many deaths in this Europe and France and these regions. So they were trying to find how is this happening? Like what is the main cause of this so many deaths due to plague? What is the main reason behind this? Then they found out that there are these hotspots in the regions where there are so many cats. There is like outbursts of plague that is coming from there. And then they started capturing these cats and killing them. So what happened? Actually what is supposed to happen, plague should go down. But it increased because the main reason of plague is rats, not cats. So the cats are coming there because there are more rats there. This is actually the danger of Anuman Praman. Like thinking, okay, this is it, but guesswork, like how far you can go. So this is what the Jnanis do. So like that there are many means of knowledge, but what is the most reliable knowledge that we can rely on? That is Shabda Praman, or based on Shastras. So the knowledge in Vedas, probably in other satsang or some other session, I will show you a presentation and like why Vedas are most trustworthy source of knowledge is because these are not compiled from the material level or from the sense perception level or by Anuman Praman. So these are timeless knowledge that are given directly from beings who are not living beings, like it's Apaurushaya they say. That is, they are coming directly from Lord. So how do I see this is like if I have a device like say a refrigerator or some other, or we have this furniture right here to assemble and all. Like you can sit and try to fit all possible combinations and permutations about that, but the easiest way that you can do is to read the manual. So that manual to lead our life is given in terms of Shastras. So one of the prominent Shastras that are given is Gita, Bhagavad Gita. So the importance of Bhagavad Gita is repeatedly visited through many saints and monks. Even many schools of thoughts also give more importance to this knowledge. So I will start actually from one of those. So this is how the structure of Bhagavad Gita is. Like there are 18 chapters. So it is like a jewel box. Like the first 6 are the base of that box, and the last 6 are the studded lid of the box, and the middle 6 are actually the gems and jewels that Krishna gives. So we'll go into that. So before going into the first chapter, I will go through some verses which are actually given by Adi Shankaracharya. This Srila Prabhupada also puts in the introduction. So this set of verses are called Gita Mahatmyam. So this is like the final, like this is the commentary of Shankaracharya. In these 9 verses, Shankaracharya said about like the importance of Bhagavad Gita, or like the Mahatmya, glories of Bhagavad Gita. We'll go through those verses. So the first verse is Gita Shastram idam punyam yah patet priyatah puman Vishnoh padam avapnoti bhayashokadi varjitaha. Bhagavad Gita is a transcendental literature which one should read very carefully. If one properly follows the instructions of Bhagavad Gita, one can be freed from all miseries and anxieties in this life, and one's next life will be spiritual. So here if you see, actually Bhagavad Gita comes in Mahabharata. Like there is a whole setting of like how Pandavas, Kauravas, like they go, there are so many tribulations that Pandavas face with Draupadi, and then it comes to a point where I will discuss that discuss this in the beginning. So it comes to a point where they are about to fight, and so this is a conversation between Krishna and Arjuna amidst a battlefield. So this is a conversation. But if you see Shankaracharya, he says Gita Shastram. So there is a difference in reading a normal book, but a scientific or like a textbook, like you give more importance to every word that is there, every sentence that is there, what is it behind it. Like that is why Shankaracharya writes here as Gita Shastram. So this is called Gita Upanishad. So there are some distinction between these scriptures called as Shruti and Smriti. So Shruti are Vedas, Upanishads. This comes under Shruti, and Smriti are Puranas. Actually, Bhagavad Gita is actually Shruti because this is the word that are coming directly from the mouth of Lord Krishna. So this is it is like spoken by the Sabda Brahma himself. So that's why even Bhagavad Gita book is worshipable, like even the book, because it contains the words of Krishna. So that's why Gita Shastram idam punyam yah patet prayatah puman Vishnoh padam avapnoti bhayasokadi varjitaha. So this is another important point that should be there. So if you read about knowledge, or like if you gain knowledge by reading a Shastra, why this bhayasokadi varjitaha is there? So for that, bhayashoka means fear and anxiety and lamentation, like misery. Yeah. So suffering, you can say. So why will you be free from this? Is because first you will identify the root cause of it. If you see any of the, like normal like people who are giving these talks about like how to win life, how 7 ways to, what is the meaning of life, like this, what all these, these people, philosophers so-called, are saying, you cannot completely rely on their knowledge because they don't know how to properly escape from this bhaya and shoka. The reason is very simple. Like all these people are trying to give the stopgap solution to the miseries and sufferings of our life. So stopgap solution is like, suppose if I have some inner disease or some other thing. So pain is a symptom. Like suppose there is an inflammation in my body. because of some bad water that went into, or like something like that. So you get like an inflammation from it. Suppose if I keep popping the painkillers, I won't be freed from it. Like temporarily some pain will be there, but that actual disease is not being treated. So what you should do, you should take proper medicine to completely remove that that is called stopgap solution. Taking painkillers for a disease which you don't know is called stopgap solution. So all these, like just sit like sleep. This is temporary relief to whatever the problem that is there. But Gita gives about what actually is your problem. Like you can say, okay, I'm suffering from anxiety. Okay, you can give a temporary solution. Okay, from now you can get out from this. But like if you Gita, when it speaks, it goes to the root cause of that problem. Why are you, like suppose if I want a job so bad, okay, and not getting it is making me miserable. Like you can say, okay, you can do this, you can do that, is like a stopgap solution. Then okay, I'll explore, but I'll not get, I'll be frustrated again. But Gita asks about your karma, your sukruti, then you will get a broader perspective, perspective of what's going on in life. Okay, I'm seeing it in this view. There is another view. Like that, so many sections are there which Krishna repeatedly speaks to Arjuna. Of course, Arjuna is like a placeholder. He's speaking, he's giving that knowledge to all of us, and that is why, like very examiningly, if you study Gita, understand it and practice in our lives, bhaya shoka adi varjitaha, you'll be free from miseries and anxieties. That is the first verse. The second verse is Gita dhyayana silasya pranayama parasya cha naiva santihi papani purva janma kritani cha. If one reads Bhagavad Gita very sincerely and with all seriousness, then by the grace of the Lord, the reactions of his past misdeeds will not act upon him. So if you read sincerely Bhagavad Gita and again you practice that with all seriousness, then your reactions of past misdeeds will not act on you. Like again this question, how can the past misdeeds cannot act upon you? Because you will know how to not get into this trap of karma. Krishna tells in third canto also, like in Karma Yoga, he says, Yagnardhat karmanaha anyatra loko yam karma bandhanaha. So he says, like, if you do Yagnardhat karmanaha, one should perform actions for the sake of Yagna only. Anyatra lokoyam, if you do any other activity, like for enjoying purpose or for sense gratificatory purpose, anything you do, anyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha, you will be bound in the ripples of karma. Ripples of karma is you do some good activity, charitable activity, you will be awarded with some credit, like you will get like good life, good things, and again that will go on. It's like a bank account, it's a diminishable bank account, and you keep on spending it by enjoying the opulences, the blessings that you obtain in this life, and again you will fall into this trap of life and birth again. You do bad things, you will get like like how Corona came, like there were some foods that you are supposed to eat and some things which you are supposed to avoid, but because of this excess sense gratification, eating every other living being and so on, you are actually bringing some viruses which are not supposed to be in living beings, and you saw how the world was in last 3 years, and we are still being affected from this. So having this knowledge, you will not fall into trap of doing good, getting reward, and again spending it, again falling back, again doing bad, again suffering, again like, okay, I should not do this mistake, and getting frustrated up and down. These things will be escaped. And that secret, how to escape from it, Krishna gives. That is why this is Gita, the Shankaracharya included this in Gita Mahatmyam. So there is a nice section there. So who should read Bhagavad Gita? So Gita has, for everyone there is some message or something that we can take and adopt in our lives. So for the young to learn how to live, for the old to know how to die, the ignorant for wisdom, the learned for humility, the rich for compassion, the dreamer for enchantment, practical for counsel, the weak for strength, the strong for direction, the humble for exaltation, the weary for rest, the troubled for peace, the doubting for assurance, the sinner for salvation, the seeker for moksha, the human for guidance. So Gita has like lessons for everyone to adopt and implement. So the third one is Mala nirmochanam pumsam jalasnanam dine dine Sakrit Gita Amrita Snanam Samsara Malanashanam. One may cleanse himself daily by taking a bath in water. But if one takes a bath even once in the sacred Ganges water of Bhagavad Gita, for him dirt of material life is altogether vanquished. You know, like he says, Mala nirmochanam pumsam jalasnanadi dine dine. To purify our body, we take like dine dine, like we do every day bath. So, by taking the water of Bhagavad Gita, from him, the dirt of material life is altogether vanquished. So what is the dirt of material life? So whatever, see, when we are like going on with our life, we come across some of the, like Arishad Vargas, like Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, as they say. Lust, anger, greed, other. There are 6 enemies that they say for everyone. So how do we overcome that? So to that you need to know what is the engineering of senses, mind and intelligence, how to control mind by strengthening intelligence, and obviously then the senses will be controlled. So these secrets are given in Bhagavad Gita, and that's why actually this cleanse and Ganges, it reminds me of another verse by Sankaracharya. I told again, I think in the previous sessions. So Sankaracharya says this in Mohamudgaraha, or like Bhajagovindam famously called as. He says, what is that? Bhagavad Gita, Kinchidadhita, Ganga Jalalava Kanika Pita, Sakridapiyena Murari Samarcha, Kriyate Tasya Yamena Charcha, Bhajagovindam, Bhajagovindam, Govindam Bhajamudamate. He says, that is Bhagavad Gita, Kinchidadhita. Like if you drink small verse of Bhagavad Gita every day, Ganga Jala Lavakanika Pita. So Ganga, the Ganges, like so many monks, goes and does penances, and actually Ganga is actually Charanamrita of Lord Vishnu. When Hari comes as a Vamana avatar, then he takes this Trivikrama avatar, and one of the third, like one is on Bali Maharaj's, like 1 feet he'll put on Bali Maharaj's leg. Of course, first he'll cover the entire earth and all the skies. So when he's expanding his leg to the skies, then the shell of the cosmos like breaks, and the Akasa Ganga that is there will touch the feet of Lord Hari and then enters into this world. That is what Bhagiratha does tapasya. This will be there. The description of this will be there in Rama and in the beginning verses. Then Bhagiratha does this tapasya. Then Lord Shiva bears his on his head. So, and some of the streams flow, and that is what Ganga that we have. So it's very auspicious, because it's Charanamrita of Lord Hari. So Ganga Jala Lavakanika Pita, Bhagavad Gita Kinchidadhita. Then Sakrita Piyena Murari Samarcha, with pure heart, with pure devotion and love. Like you just do once, like worship of Lord Krishna. Kriyate Tasya Yamena Charcha means you will not have any discussion with Yama. So that means you will not see Yamadharmaraj after the life. So that's what Sankara says again. So that is this. The 4th verse is Gita Sugita Kartavya Kimanyai Shastra Vistaraihi Yasvayam Padmanabhasya Mukha Padmad Vinisrita. Because Bhagavad Gita is spoken by Supreme Personality of Godhead, one need not read any other Vedic literature. This one book, Bhagavad Gita, will suffice because it is the essence of all Vedic literatures, and especially because it is spoken by Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, the next verse is Bharatamrita Sarvasvam Vishnu Bhaktrad Vinisritam Gita Gangoda Kampitva Punarjanmana Vidyate. One who drinks the water of Ganges attains salvation. So what to speak of one who drinks the nectar of Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita is the essential nectar of Mahabharata, and it is spoken by Lord Krishna himself, the original Vishnu. And these 2 verses are amazing verses, the next 2. Sarvopanishado Gavo Dogdha Gopalanandanaha Pardho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta Dugdham Gita Amritam Mahat. This Gita Upanishad, Sarvopanishado Gavo, you will see the Gita Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita, is the essence of all Upanishads, is just like a cow. and Dogdha Gopalanandanaha. And Lord Krishna, who is famous as a cowherd boy, is milking this cow and he is giving us that essence in the form of this beautiful nectar of Bhagavad Gita. Pardho Vatsaha Sudhir Bhokta. Arjuna is just like a calf, and learned scholars and pure devotees, Dugdham Gita Amritam Mahat, are to drink the nectarian milk of Bhagavad Gita. And this is the summum bonum of Gita Mahatmya given by Shankaracharya. And if you observe this is exactly what ISKCON and ISKCON devotees do in everyday life, like throughout their, whatever the practice that they are doing. Ekam Shastram Devaki Putra Gitam Eko Devo Devaki Putra Eva Eko Mantrastasya Namani Yani Karmapyekam Tasya Devasya Seva. So, Ekam Shastram Devaki Putra Gitam. In this present day, people are very much eager to have one scripture, one God, one religion and one occupation. Therefore, Shankara gives this. Ekam Shastram Devaki Putra Gitam. Let there be one scripture only, one common scripture for the whole world, Bhagavad Gita. That is Eko Shastram Devaki Putra Gitam. Eko Devo Devaki Putra Eva. There is only one God, that is, let there be one God for whole world, Sri Krishna. Eko Mantrastasya Namani. And one hymn, one mantra, one prayer, the chanting of his name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And Karmapyekam Tasya Devasya Seva. And let there be one work only, because in Karma Yoga there are different subscriptions that people give. So there is one work only, that is service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is what actually the ISKCON or the monks preaches. That's what Srila Prabhupada also gave. This is Shankara's Gita Mahatmyam. So we'll go into some intricate details about the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So this is the whole setting of how Gita is going to begin. So first verse is Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre Dhritarashtra Uvacha Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Yutsavaha Mamakah Pandavaschaiva Kimakurvata Sanjaya. So Dhritarashtra is asking, Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Yutsavaha Mamakah Pandavaschaiva Kimakurvata Sanjaya. See, he is asking in Dharmakshetra Kurukshetra, everyone assembled, Mamaka Pandava Schaiva Kimakurvata Sanjaya. See the notion of Dhritarashtra. He asks, what are my children doing and what are Pandu's sons doing? Actually, Pandavas are also Kurus. They are all coming from the same lineage. But this is what is in the false material attachment of the Dhritarashtra. So Dhritarashtra is blind, both literally and figuratively. He is literally blind, and because he is blind from birth, and then figuratively also is because he is blinded by this mad love of his children. He knows that Dhritarashtra, Duryodhana and all these people are doing wrong, but he just sits inert, So he is asking this Mamakah Pandavaschaiva Kimakurvata Sanjaya. So the reason why he is asking is divided into four things. First, he is desirous. Did in the last minute, did, Pandavas took back, something happened to Arjuna and Bhima, because he has more, a trust on Yudhishthir, because Yudhishthir always takes these stances, peaceful stances. So did they draw their stance off? And then doubtful, is this war going to happen or not? And fearful. He knows that his sons did mistake. There is no doubt about it. And they are going to lose, he knows inherently. But he's, that fear is there, but he's trusting on the material strength. And he's also hopeful, somehow they'll give up, and somehow, there are so many leaders on this side, they'll win. That is what Dhritarashtra is asking this. So, Kimakurvata Sanjaya, what is going on, he'll ask. So, I will tell that what I told you to remember, that scene of Krishna speaking. So, these all 26 verses that I'll go through very fast is the message of it is, being on God's side is million times superior to one's own political diplomacy and material expertise. So, before starting of this Kurukshetra war, what happens is, so Krishna comes and does these peaceful negotiations. It will fail. Like he will ask, you don't need to give the entire kingdom to us, just give 5 villages to 5 Pandavas, so that they can perform these Kshatriya dharmas and live peacefully. But they will not do that, like they'll not give, because of the envy. All these, like all the Kauravas are subjected to these Arishad Vargas, what I said, the 6 enemies, you know. So it came to the war. Now everyone is going to like get their allies, you know, who is fighting on our side, your side, and so on and so forth. So in this setting, what happened was, so Krishna has Narayani Sena. You know, Krishna has this is the picture where I am saying. So Krishna has Narayani Sena. So that is very powerful. So everyone has the strength of like Narayana actually. Like they are so hefty, they are very tall, they are very equipped. Everyone has like golden armor. There is a description actually. Like there are like that whole army of Narayani Sena Krishna has. And Yadus have it. So to get that Sena on the side, so Arjuna comes, and also at the same time Duryodhana comes. So Krishna is Sarvantaryami. He knows what is going on everywhere and every nook and corner of this universe. So he'll be resting on the bed and acting like he's taking rest. So because Arjuna is a devotee, he stands at the feet. But Duryodhana, because he's so puffed up, because he's already like sitting on the throne and ruling, right? So he first comes, but you know, he doesn't want to sit near the legs of a Yadu king. You know, that's why he goes and sits near the head. So Krishna is very intelligent. When he opens his eyes, he sees Arjuna because he is at the feet, right? Like when you open, you see one who is there, not the one who is sitting by your side. Hey Arjun, when did you come? Like that he'll say and go and hug him. And then Duryodhana, he says, oh Duryodhana, you're also there. Nice to see you. So why did you both come? Then everyone says, okay, you know, let us address the elephant in the room. Like this is there. Which side are you going to be? Then Krishna says one thing. So I know that you both are fighting, and for me you are all impartial. Okay, so there is one vow I am taking. That is, during the war I will never catch a weapon. That is the first condition Krishna puts. I will never catch a weapon and fight during the war. The second thing is, I am on one side, all the Narayani Sena is on one side. Because you both are, you know, like dearer to me and I am impartial to both of you, you should choose one of these. And then he says, he knows what is running in each other's mind, right? So he says, okay, because I saw Arjuna first, so first Arjuna gets the like pick. Then Arjuna, because he's a devotee, you know, Duryodhana that time is a little bit afraid. You know, if Arjuna takes Narayani Sena, what will I do with Krishna? And he's, you know, he'll just come with a flute and peacock feather. You know, what will I do? He'll think. Then Arjuna immediately says, Krishna, you don't need to say. Please, you be on my side. I don't care any other thing. So that itself is a game changer. Okay, I'll tell one small thing. I'll go faster. So, you know the setting of Mahabharata. There is a challenge between Vyasdev and Ganesh. So, like Ganesh tells, I will write Mahabharata. But Vyasdev says, okay, I will narrate you the entire Mahabharata. 1 lakh verse, the largest largest scripture that is written on the face of earth. 1 lakh verses it has. He will tell, I will say so fast, and you have to understand and write it, and you should not miss it. Like if you don't understand or you stop, I will stop narrating. So Ganesh will sit and he will write. So that's why so many intricacies are there in Mahabharata. But there is one verse, Vyasdev repeats 11 or 12 times, same syllables, same verse. That what verse is repeated is, Yato Krishnastato Dharmaha, Yato Dharmastato Jayaha. Where there is Krishna, there is all the righteousness resides there. And Yato Dharmastato Jayaha, where there is righteousness, there is victory. And that is what the last verse of Bhagavad Gita is also. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Pardho Dhanurdharaha, Tatra Srir Vijayo Bhutir, Dhruvanitir Madhirmama. He declares, you don't need to see what's going on in the war. Like obviously Krishna and Arjun will win, he will say. But that is what. So all the material opulences are one side and Krishna is on one side. So that is what it says. So I will go through these points. Like the summary of these settings is, first Duryodhana will approach Dronacharya because he is the commander-in-chief of all armies, and then he will start narrating Bhima Arjuna Samayudhi Yuyudhano Viratascha Drupadascha Maharataha. So there are Maharadis. So the armies that time they used to count in terms of like Rathas. Dasaratha means 10 Rathas he can defeat. Means single-handedly if he goes, there are 10 chariots and the corresponding, warfare, like the ground warfare that are coming. Like he can destroy 10 enemies. Like Atiradha, Maharadha and Atiradha. Maharadha means like 1,000 chariots he can destroy. Atiradha means much more. Like that, these are the, that's how it is measured. So there are Atiradha Maharadhas on their side. First he will tell about what is there on the other side. Because he is feared internally. And then he will start repeating, there is Bhima, Arjuna, and Yudhana, Virata, all these Satyaki, they are all there. And he also says, Drishtaketus Chekitanaha, Kasi Rajascha Viryavan, Purjit Kunti Bhojascha, Saibhyascha Narapungavaihi. So the Drishtaketu, Chekitana, Kasi Raja, Purjit Kunti Bhoja, and Saibhya, all these are there. And then, these are the different warriors that are there. And if he keeps narrating about the glories of other thing, people will be, disheartened. So he will tell, you don't need to worry. On our side also there are so many things. Actually, if you measure the material armies in terms of what material opulence is, the armies of Pandavas are about like 7 or 8 Akshohinis. But Kauravas has like 11 Akshohinis. So they are like greater in number, they have greater war force, but there is only one game changer, that is Krishna on this side. And that he is not catching any weapon. And he'll say like, there are so many exalted personalities also. Bhavan Bhishmascha Karnascha Kripascha Samitam Jayaha Aswattama Vikaranascha Saumadattis Tadaivacha. So there are people like Bhishma, Karna, Kripa, Aswattama, Vikarana, and Somadatta, son of Somadatta, Bhuriswara, and who are always victorious in the battle. And there are many other heroes who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake. All of them are well equipped with different kinds of weapons and are all experienced in military science. Like Karna, you can see, he will just fight for the sake of Duryodhana. He really is not interested in any outcome of the thing. But because of this false dharma called as friendship, he does that. Our strength is immeasurable and we are perfectly protected by grandfather Bhishma. So, whereas the strength of Pandava is carefully protected by Bhima himself. So why this is there is because he is trying to gather these numbers and he is trying to find his strength in numbers. So this is what I said, where there is Krishna, there is victory. That is what 1.12 to 19 says. Then Bhishma blew his conch shell, giving joy to Duryodhana. Tatasveter hair yukte mahati syandane stitau madhavah pandavas chaiva divyau sankau Prathatmatuhu. So like that, there are conch shells that are blown by warriors. And why this is there is that Krishna blows Panchajanya, Arjuna blows Devadatta, Yudhishthira Ananta Vijaya, Bhima Poundra, Nakula Sughosha, Sahadeva, Manipushpaka. So this is like enemies' hearts are shattered. It is like a symbolic victory like to the Pandavas before the start of the war itself. So this is the conch shells that are being blown. There is one of the pastimes where Hanuman comes and recites on the flags of Arjuna. And at that time, Arjuna, the son of Pandu, seated in the chariot bearing the flag marked with Hanuman, took up his bow and prepared to shoot his arrows. O king, after looking at the sons of Dhritarashtra drawn in military array, Arjuna then spoke to Lord Krishna these words. So this is the fourth lesson that are there in 27 to 46. Why did the great hero and Krishna devotee Arjuna put his bow down, refusing to fight? So I told in the previous satsangs that Arjuna is the most competent archer that is there on the planet. And he has the most powerful weapon called as the Gandiva bow. And his weapon, like his chariot, was gifted by some demigod. His bow is gifted by some other demigod. Like that, he is very well equipped with this but he will ask, "Oh infallible one, Achyuta, please draw my chariot between two armies." Lord then drew the chariot between the two armies at the request of Gudakesha Arjuna. Gudakesha means one who conquered sleep. Arjuna when he is at in education, when he is under the ashram of Dronacharya, like he learns this like science of warfare by practicing in dark. That's what like Sabdaveri and all this, like both hands he can fight. All this he will learn in the dark, so he conquers sleep. And there is also another boon that he will not get sleep at the time of war that he has. So Lord then drew the chariot between the two armies at the request of Gudakesha Arjuna. Arjuna sees all kinds of, what is that? Relatives. He is seeing everyone there. So here there is a reason why Achyuta word is used, because Arjuna has a turmoil within him. The only one who can resolve Arjuna's crisis between is the one who is infallible. That's why he is addressing Krishna as Achyuta. So the Lord never fails in the affection for his devotees, thus engaged in the service of his friend out of his causeless mercy. So he did not hesitate to carry out the order of Arjuna as his charioteer. Still his supreme position was unchallenged. So even Krishna assuming the charioteer position, which is a low level like stewardship in terms of battlefield, shows like how Bhakti Sulabh Krishna is. So this is what it is said. So the relationship between the Lord and the servitor before even beginning Bhagavad Gita can be seen just by looking at the picture of Krishna and Arjuna. By Krishna being a supreme Lord taking the position of a charioteer, and Arjuna, who is his devotee, is taking his words and then fighting in the battlefield. So Krishna, what is the reason is Krishna has put Arjuna under illusion. So why? Because he has to teach Bhagavad Gita. So a pure devotee like Arjuna also was put under the illusion and he became overwhelmed. Tan samikshasa kaunteya sarvan bandhun avasthitam kripaya paraya visto vishidanyidam bravit. So like this he is saying. So in the next session we'll go into the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which is very, very amazing summarization of the entire Bhagavad Gita. So there, so I'm concluding. So this is the main reasons where Arjuna didn't want to fight. That is compassion for friends and relatives, no enjoyment even if victorious, fear of sinful reactions, destruction of family traditions, and indecision. These are the 5 things that Arjun says in these last verses, where first he is compassion of his relatives and friends. He will say, oh, these are my gurus, my cousins, what will happen to their wives, I am going to be the misery of everyone of my kith and kin, they are feeling so bad and I will be the reason of all this. So this false compassion, that Arjuna has leads to this reason why he doesn't want to fight and doesn't want to do his duty. No enjoyment even if victorious. He speaks about like even if I am victorious, I will be the source of lamentation of so many people. And what is the reason if I just enjoy those by taking the like victory from these miseries? That's not what I want, like that he says, and he'll be reluctant to fight. And his fear of sinful reactions. By doing duty, he's afraid of, okay, I'll incur more sinful reactions. By quoting some dharmas, he will say about like how I'll get a sinful reaction. That is one reason he will not willing to fight. And he'll be reason for the destruction of family traditions. And also the main reason is he will be bewildered within him. Like what is the prescribed duty that one has to do when these dharmas are conflicting? So I'm concluding this session here. So the takeaway is we need to visualize ourselves also in the state of Arjuna. Like we are also, every one of us are leading some battle, some problem, something. And often we also in life goes in the state of indecision. You don't know what to do, which path to take, So this kind of questions comes out of all dharmas, which dharma that I should follow. This illusion, how Krishna dispels, is we'll see in the second session, which will be like the third session and the second chapter thing, which we'll see in the next class. Thank you so much. If anyone has a comment or question, you can approach me and ask. Thank you. Hare Krishna. It's okay. Thank you so much. So there is a nice prasadam that's being served now. So you can take prasadam, and at 8:15 the altar will be open. You can get darshan of the Lords. Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna.